See it right there at the top?
I guess.
Okay, so here we go. Let me push right in. It's the center of your frame.
It's absolutely rockwork. It seems a little small.
It is definitely rockwork.
It just seems a bit small to be the quote-unquote spinning.
Right.
But it's kind of sitting up there kind of precariously.
Yeah.
As if it were balanced, you know. Wow, there's a lot more there than there was last week.
Yeah.
Don't you think? But anyway, that's what folks are thinking. That's nature's wonderland spinning rock thing.
All right, guys.
Looks like they've done quite a bit over here, though. You know, I guess that's the path of the. Are we saying that's train?
Yes. Up along there.
Look at, you can see the dirt is up. Oh my gosh, look at where the dirt is.
Yeah. It's right filling up against the concrete wall.
And that wall is definitely coming along.
And we should, hopefully we're still.
I was, you know, later on today, I think what I'm going to do, I've got the overhead image, the new one.
Yep.
That's been circulating. It's on my phone. We might do we'll sit down and look at it and talk about it. But what I noticed from that overhead image is that there's a lot of rock work that we can't see being done on this side of the wall.
Yeah.
And we're never going to see it. We're never going to be able to see it.
Until it's done.
No, I can't do a report on it. Like, look how cool this rock work is going.
We're going to reach that point with Star Wars Land in general at some point where we'll see everything we can see and everything else will be out of sight.
Yeah.
That's going to happen somewhere, and we'll just have to say, okay, we've done our job.
That's all. No, I'm going all the way to the end, dude.
Even when we can't see anything?
No, yeah. Even.
Okay.
Yeah. Just inside. This is what's happening inside those buildings. But for now, there you go, guys. That's the current state of Big Thunder Trail, Star Wars Land, and that there spinning rock. Now I don't know how well this is going to come out again because the wall is just getting away. We can only see the top half, but you can kind of see what I was alluding to, how much stuff is going on in front of the walls, the progress that they're making on some of the rock work and stuff. Although that looks like, oh, you know what that is? Were those, that's the train, isn't it?
Ooh, actually, yeah.
That is the train path.
Yeah, that's a bridge for the train right there.
That certainly is. My understanding is that it's going to maintain its elevation throughout. Just as, you know, maybe a 0.5% grade.
It has to climb a little bit.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what that is right there. That's the.
And you thought it was going to go on top.
Well, I didn't.
I told you.
You.
Just like I said about the cofferdams.
I thought it was high. I thought ground level would be higher.
Same. Everyone laughed about the cofferdams. I was right about that.
So we come down to the lower level of Critter Country to see if we can see anything through these little cracks in the wall, and actually you can a little bit. That right there is one of those, you know, the water things that we've been seeing pop up. Now, if I zoom in a little bit, let's see if we can get past that. This is to the left of that pipe, but to the right. Come on. You can see they're building a whole bunch more, or they're putting up a whole bunch more of those green pipes, creating another, that's got to be water effects, right?
I'm not sure what it's for, but
some people are saying it's for draining, for like, you know, runoff. But runoff from what?
I'm not sure.
I feel like that has to be water effects.
But so is that pipe in the middle of the river, or is it at the
No,
edge?
it's along the edge somewhere. They're going to be putting in. By the way, there's your train path again, right there.
Yeah.
That's what we saw at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Right at Critter Country.
Yeah.
So there's that. But yeah, I feel like that's got to be more water effects. And you can see, oh, look at that, we're doing great here.
It was so tempting to try to peek around the door when the cast members went through.
Oh, really?
Obviously.
Somebody just went through?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's more wall and more stuff being built atop the wall. Looks like more train support. That's going to be amazing. I don't have the brain power to process, you know, my imagination can't guess what that's going to be. But I can only hope that it's amazing. Okay. Now we come out and this is the entrance to Hungry Bear right here, right? We come back up.
Temporary path to the downstairs.
Yeah, this is the temporary path. Normally, you can't even stand here. Normally, this is just a little river or a creek. A creek we're right on top of the creek, actually.
Well, while the whole construction around Hungry Bear is happening, this is how you can walk down with a ramp.
And what it does, what is for this? Well, I can't show you with the camera, but Ian and I were just looking through. I don't know if you can notice, there's like a dark section right there. You can see that's a new concrete path that they're building. Well,
Yeah.
the path won't be concrete when they're
It'll
done.
be more of a boardwalk, but the concrete wall on the edge. Going
Right.
from the main walkway in Country and Disneyland down to
Right.
the new path.
So
leading to Star Wars.
From this path right here, where everybody's standing, it's gonna extend down this way.
Yep.
And it's gonna be like a boardwalk.
And then go under the tree.
And then, yeah, so it's going to pass alongside to the right of this section here, where normally you would have looked right over the edge
Into
to
the
see the
water.
ducks and see the water. You're now going to see a boardwalk run alongside of it. That's going to be beautiful, I think. To be able to walk along the river's edge like
Yeah.
that, that's going to be great. And you can see, you can't see, but we saw, they fortified it. Well, actually, you can see that a little bit with the camera. You see where the concrete areas have been fortified a little bit with, concrete. And you can imagine that path now, running alongside the Hungry Bear, between the river and the Hungry Bear, and then as it extends past the dining areas, it's going to go under the train and into. That's going to be an entrance to Star Wars Land.
Yep.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hell yeah! What's happening, Fresh Bake? We're atop the Mickey and Friends parking structure on a Saturday afternoon. Oh, Ian.
Yes.
This is going to be kind of a strange segment we're doing today because what we're filming right now is still floating in time. I don't know where we're at in our day right now.
Right.
So I don't know, for example,
We might be in DCA.
I want to start with those green pipes that we've been seeing pop up all over. Let me see if I can find a couple for you. Yeah, see those green pipes right in the middle of fame?
Yes.
Well, last week we called them noodles, swimming noodles.
Pool noodles.
While I still maintain that that's a possibility.
Could be.
Somebody has
grab those
suggested that
stations.
perhaps they're not swimming pool noodles. That perhaps they're for it's for water. It's now right. Later on today, I don't know if it's again. I don't know if I've said this yet.
Or later. 'Cause we're not sure.
Either before or after.
At
Some point in this show, I'm going to say no. That's not runoff. That looks like it's water effects. Probably waterfall.
Except there's too many of them all over the place. for that.
Well, because I thought that because of their varying heights.
Yeah.
But I'm now being made to understand that once we find what ground level is,
We chop them off.
those
to the
pipes will be
necessary
chopped off. Right.
to the necessary height.
I think it was, you know what? It was Jenny, I think. Jenny Suspiri who said, if it's PVC, which that looked to be, because it looks like PVC to me. If it's PVC, then that means that it's for runoff because it can't handle the pressure. You have to use steel pipes.
Which makes sense.
Yeah. So that's going to be runoff, and they're everywhere. Let's go over here. The pool. Oh yeah. So now somebody keeps saying that what did I say? Vapor or something? There we go. Vapor barrier. The white. Now what vapors are they talking about? I guess that's what the pool is that's a vapor barrier, and they're going to prevent vapor.
Okay.
Apparently, no vapor allowed in the pool. I agree. It looks like they're progressing nicely on whatever it is that they're building over here, that wooden wall that they're building.
Yep.
And there's a jacuzzi going in right there.
Yeah.
And so that's coming along nicely. You know what you can see, actually, Ian, if we zoom in real quick
What?
to the building that I maintain is not show.
Because most show buildings do not look like that.
Show buildings do not look like houses.
Which is not to say it couldn't be used for that purpose, but its look does not suggest it would.
There's a guy right now putting on the roof.
Yes.
Now, we've got some comments. I asked everybody to provide me comments. Let's talk about that building right now. Here's what Carson Fran says, that the pre-engineered building north of the site is a 10,000 square foot back of house office building and wardrobe/green room. That makes a lot of sense because there's going to be so many costume characters that require a lot of TLC on a regular basis. You need a place for that.
Yeah.
And that makes sense that that's the kind of structure that would be fitting for that in a place that's offside a little bit.
Just behind.
So I like the idea of that being a wardrobe/green room.
Granted, though, it's also in that expansion space.
Now, that's the only problem that I'm having with that.
Yeah.
Is that is the expansion area.
Smack in the middle.
Robert Holtz wants to say that show building, they're building This is what I don't understand, Robert. I don't understand. Why are we building the proposed expansion area first?
I guess the idea is if they create a large, decent-sized generic space, they can design a ride with those limitations when they're ready.
Poppycock. Okay. Another suggestion is it's a temporary building. Okay, so Kirkland deGrassi said that Mount Spielberg wall protrusions. Now that's not.
Referring to is
he's talking about the far wall.
The far wooden and steel wall.
Yeah,
the sort of beam sticking out of it.
This thing. He's talking about that, right?
Let us know if that's what you're talking about.
Is that what you're talking about? Because Mount Spielberg is that dirt pile right there. That's Mount Spielberg. So, but I assume you're talking about this because you're talking about the wall protrusions. He said that where'd it go? The wall protrusions are above the line of the roof to the building, and he says that's a clue that the building is temporary. Because it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It makes sense in the sense that if those wall protrusions are for something, that means something has to be built there.
And the building's in the way.
And the building's in the way. I guess.
In which case, how far in the future is that happening?
By the way, we're getting help and we still don't know.
But hey, it's giving us stuff to talk about.
I know, right?
That's good.
Actually, now that I think about it, one of the questions that I had still, because when we are going to talk about the train that is going to travel in front of the wall right there, we were trying to define what ground level was. And somebody confirmed that while it does look like most of the what do you call it? The underground structure that needs to be done for all the pods and stuff looks complete. He says that everything we're seeing right now is still pretty much underground. That we haven't reached ground level yet. Everything is going to get built up on top of what we're seeing now.
Well, I imagine the way think of it is when Mount Spielberg no longer exists and that dirt has all been replaced, then you can assume that they're much closer to the actual ground level, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think it's dirt that they're going to use to build it up. It's going to be more. It's going to be structure. It's going to be wood and concrete.
Some of it will be dirt.
You think?
Yeah.
You think? Now, lastly, before we go look at the Hungry Bear side, Robert Holtz, friend of Fresh Baked, and awesome Patreon contributor, has said that there are a number of, now I don't know, this is his rumor, or he's heard this because we can't see it, but he says there are a number of buildings, a number of constructed buildings that are being assembled on site, and then they're going to drop them in. So the prefabricated stuff that's already done, I guess what he's saying is that the pace of this is going to be, that's what I'm getting from it.
Will be rather quick.
It's going to be sped up even more. When we were here on Thursday, you could just see stuff happening everywhere. In all points of the property, there was stuff happening. It's going to get even more so to the point where, like you said, that
eventually the buildings themselves will block our view.
You're not going to get to see anything. Yeah. So I don't know how far along we are on that. But we're going to start seeing buildings. That's what I was kind of thinking. Like, I keep waiting for something to go up.
I think stuff won't really pick up until the rivers are done. I think that's the ASAP get this done. Because the
river's got to go first.
Because that has the biggest impact to park operation.
Yeah, for sure.
Get that up and running. Things can run back to normal until Star Wars Rain is ready.
So there are buildings, things that are already completed. They just have to bring them in. It's plug and play basically. That's interesting to me. I'd like to be here to see that. They'll probably do it overnight, though.
Possibly.
Now, last week, before we go over there again, last week I asked you to look at something. We didn't do it on camera because you thought it was nothing, but I want to come back to this. Those concrete stairs.
Yeah, they're not stairs. They're just the starting of concrete with rebar to put more wall in.
I know, but why is it layered like that? Why? What's with the they look. I know they're not stairs. Just like I know that's not a pool, but why are there stairs there? What? It looks like it just seems out of place. I'm sorry this is going around so much, but I'm fully zoomed. So, yeah, why is it? It's just a curious looking arrangement of what? I don't know. Maybe one of the constructionites can help us out there. Let's go to the Hungry Bear side. Now, so from here you can see, Ian, actually those green pipes that we either will be or haven't talked about yet, that we saw when we were at the bottom floor of the Hungry Bear. We saw those, or we will see those.
Don't worry about it, guys. It's just time. It's weird.
But that's what, when I saw those, I thought, okay, that's definitely water effects. because the way they were put in, it looked like there was, you know, method to it. But it's just, that's got to be just runoff.
Yeah.
But I can't really, you know, somebody had said you could see how, I can't see it, but you can see where they poured concrete, and you can see the beginnings of the like the boardwalk or the path that they're constructing there.
They poured concrete for a wall portion that the boardwalk will go on top of.
Right.
We have or will kind of
exactly. I was gonna say that's another
repair.
thing that we either have already seen or are going to see shortly. I don't know where I'm going to put this in this week's trip, you guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, squibbly, wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
Yeah, the time is you know, relative.
Even more so with an Infinity Stone.
That's true. If we only had one. Okay, let's take a look over here real quick. Now, you know what? Actually, Ian, I have a better idea.
What?
Let's go down there.
Ah.
Ian, let's go right down there and see what we can see. I think we might get a better view. I came down here to show you a wall. There it is. I'm just kidding. But look, they're building a mini wall right there. I like to come down here though to get a sense of scale. Here's the wall that I was actually talking about. You can't see that from the Mickey and Friends parking structure. No. Let's actually go back this way a little bit. But that's enormous. Let me see if I can get in there.
Yeah, that is
Doesn't
big.
that look, I mean, when you get up there, give it some scale.
That's at least 3 stories tall.
Put a human next to that.
Well, I'm looking at that cooler and like
yeah, look at the cooler.
It's like the spaces where you kind of see 3 segments.
Yeah.
That's at least three
stories,
tall.
right?
Yeah.
And that's the same kind of wall that we're seeing out there in the distance too.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's a pretty big deal. And look, there's just those green pipes everywhere. You know what? Those maybe they are runoff. Because that's not a water effect back here, right?
No.
You don't need water effects right there.
And they're everywhere.
So that's got it. Maybe that is runoff. But I just, yeah, like I said, I like to come down here just to get a sense of the size, you know, of things. Because it's hard to tell from up top just how big.
But this space behind the wall will be for the new access road.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. This wall itself is not even really Star Wars Land proper, I'm guessing, right? That's more of a sound barrier.
Well, that could be that would be the backside. 'Cause this space over here will be kind of the far queue of the big one.
You think so?
It's where we probably will see what the X-wings and if that concept art so there will be believed a Corellian Corvette.
And also, look how we get a better view, a better sense of the exit, you know, of the train.
Yeah.
And that retaining wall that's up there. That looks bigger than it was before, doesn't it?
Possibly. It's hard to tell.
Look how big these forms are, dude.
They really are huge. You know, again, the sense of scale is lost when you're that far above them and away from them on the top of the structure.
They still haven't done anything with that dirt pile right there either.
No, it's there.
Somebody drove on it, so they obviously have no respect.
Another manhole cover access.
Yeah,
thing.
there's one of those deals right there. That's just there.
It's right over here is where the access road will meet.
Yeah. But you can't see the pool very well from here.
No.
And you can't really get any sense of depth for for Mount Spielberg. But you can see what we were looking at last week, as I pointed to earlier. The things that they dug out, the little crisscross patterns. I wonder what that is right there. That concrete. Is that coverings for the?
That might be for more wall on right there.
Oh! You think getting ready for that?
Could be
the same thing.
Because there has to be a gap for the road. Right?
It does look,
and for backstage access to get to the backstage.
Yeah, you're right. That could be more of that. That could be more of that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. All right. Well, that's gonna do it, guys. From our Star Wars Land report today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later this week. I'm going to try to come back for a midweek report and do another acoustic recording because people seem to enjoy that one. And I kind of liked it too. So we'll see you then. Bye, guys. We've got lots more for you guys to see, so grab a churro and watch our Star Wars Land updates with the Knothole gang, or maybe our Secrets in History videos. And we're now at Disney World, so please do subscribe and watch our adventures there. And don't forget, you can support Fresh Baked through our Patreon campaign and get some exclusive benefits in the process. Thank you, everyone. Fresh Baked!